What we've got in front of us is a linear gauge. These have been around for donkey's years, used in engineering workshops for measurement. Now they're quite simple and complicated. So I'm just going to show you how you measure something, internal, external and depth, all with the same gauge, and then we'll just explore how you actually calculate what you've actually just measured. So there's some interesting points on them. These are the external points, which will measure the external diameter of something, or an external distance or thickness. These are the internal ones, so that you can measure the internal diameter of something. And on this end, when you use it, and you'll see it in a moment, a post sticks out of here as you adjust it, and that will help you measure the depth. So let's have a look at a couple of things, and we'll just explore how you use it, and then we'll look at actually counting the depth or the thickness or the internal diameter of what you've just measured. Firstly, what we'll do is we'll measure the thickness of something. So we can measure how thick this bar is. There's several controls on the gauge. This thumb screw here which locks it, and this is the operating thumb lever. So you move it backwards and forwards like that. So what we'll do is we'll measure the thickness like this. Then we'll lock it off. Then we'll need to read off on the gauge. Now, if we're looking at the internal diameter of something, this is a good example. We'll release the thumb screw so that it slides easily up and down. You see how these blades are the internal ones here. So we'll measure we've got the internal diameter, we'll lock it off. Now the other end of the gauge is the post I was telling you about. Let's find something we can measure the depth of. Now in this socket wrench extension there's a hole. Now if we wanted to know exactly how deep that was, we could just roughly get a guide like that, and then measure it, but that's not very accurate. So we can use the linear gauge. So first thing we do is release the locking wheel. Open them up. See it sliding in? And then lock it off. So that there, between here and the tip of that point, is the distance of the depth of that hole in that tool. Now move on to the more interesting point of how you read it. So let's have a look at the gauge in more detail. So we just measured the depth of the hole in the tool, and you can see here we take the reading by using the naught, and that's against 2 centimetres, 20 millimetres. And the next stage is to measure something that isn't exactly a centimetre, it'll be part of a centimetre. Now we've measured something that's slightly more than 2 centimetres. It's 2 centimetres, 20 millimetres, 21, 22, 23 exactly. And the next stage is to measure something that is part of a millimetre. So I've adjusted the gauge. Let's look carefully. This time it's 20 millimetres, 21, 22, 23 and a bit. So we're looking for an exact match. And the exact match is here. So that's 21, 22, 23, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. Now the next stage is to measure something that isn't a millimetre perfect. So I've adjusted it again, and now what we're looking for is the exact match. Each of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. is the first decimal place. and these individual markings here are, each one is 0.2 of a millimetre. So we've got 23, nearly 24, to 23.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7. So 23.7 plus 0.2 plus 0.4. So 23.74. That's how we measure using those gauges. And to finish up, I've done one more. So it's 21, 22, 23, 24 and a little bit. So 24.1, 24.2, 24.3, 24.4, 24.4, 2 or 4. You decide. I think it's 24.4, 0.42, 0.44, 0.44. That's the exact match. So 24, 21, 22, 23, 24 and a little bit. And that little bit is 24.1, 24.2, 24.3, 24.4, 24.42, 24.44. So, it's easy and complicated. Hope you got that. See you next time. Like and subscribe.